A lot of times you'll hear people say Jesus never claimed that he was God in the Bible. And in English, we use the word God to describe the creator being, right? But Hebrew word for God is Yahweh, or they would understand it as I am, which we would say in English. So I'm going to show you that Jesus very much claimed that he was God in the flesh, God Almighty, 100% God, 100% man. In Exodus 13, verse 13 and 14, it says, "Then Moses said to God, 'Indeed, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them?' And God said to Moses, 'I am who I am.' And he said, 'Thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you.'" Now remember that, okay? Now in John chapter 8, the Jews were arguing with Jesus in the temple. So in verse 56, it says, "Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then the Jews said to him, 'You are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham?' In verse 58, Jesus said to them, 'Most assuredly, I say to you, before Abraham was, I am.'" There's that word again. Verse 59, "Then they took up stones to throw at him, but Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by." Why did the Jews take up stones to throw at Jesus? Because they knew when he said, "I am," he was claiming, "I am the same God who delivered the Israelites out of the bondage of Egypt, who showed up to Moses in the burning bush, the very same God, Almighty in the flesh." There are a lot of other scriptures you can point to, but that's the most clear one there is. So when God shows up to Moses in the burning bush, you can actually see this on Tim Mackey's The Bible Project. He talks about this. But it said, God says to Moses, this is an English translation of the Hebrew, "He will be," right? Which would be yeah. And then after that he says, "I will be," which is "I am" is another way of saying it. But that's Yahweh. Ehyeh or Yahweh is how the Israelites would understand it. And it's the English word "I am," or "he," or "I will be" is another way of saying it. So that's why we don't, when people say, "Oh, Jesus never said he was God." Well, yeah, he never said the English word God. He used the Hebrew word, or he would say it in Aramaic, as he said, which is another form of Hebrew.